Yo, welcome back, everybody. Let me know if the audio sounds good. I tried to turn the music down a little bit. It seemed a little too loud for me personally, so let me just turn that down a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can hear it okay, and let's do some more hacky. Hopefully you got your hoodie back on. Extra points if you got a mask. Helps you pop more reverse shells. Gives you superpowers. Alright. Let's do this thing. Let me check Discord real quick. I have a message. Oh, super strong. Nate's asking me the password. Actually, I don't remember what it is. 1 second, Nate. I'll tell you what it is, and then I'll share my stream with you guys. Yeah, my strong password. My strong. Oh, you got it? Sweet. Alright. Pop open OBS. And here we are. Oh, you're trying my secret password. Yeah, my strong password. Okay. Room started up. Looks like we have a domain controller and Windows web server from what I can see there. Distributor, MDT server again, and a jump box. Cool. This network is the continuation of the breaching AD network. Please make sure to complete this network before continuing with this one. Bad grammar. It should be that network before continuing with this one. Also, and this network just came out today, so we'll see if we find any bugs in it. Also note that we will discuss AD objects extensively. If you need a refresher, have a quick reskin of this room. That's probably the intro to AD. Yep, Active Directory Basics. Now that we have our very first set of valid AD credentials, and that was what we just grabbed here. My strong password, I don't remember the name. It was Service AV, wasn't it? Let's just go ahead and let's make a directory, and this is enumerating. And let's echo, I believe it was Service AV, and then my strong password 1. And let's echo that to Service AV creds.txt. I think that was the account name. If we have to go back, we'll grab it. Did I save it to my notes? Oh, that was the MDT account that we had. But I think it's going to ask us for the Service AV account. Okay. Oh, let me get Twitch pulled back up too so I can see you guys' chat. Alright, this network, blah, blah, blah. AD enumeration. Once we have that very first set of AD creds and the means to authenticate with them on the network, a whole new world of possibilities opens up to us. We can start enumerating various details about the AD setup and structure with authenticated access, even super low privilege access. During a red team engagement, this will usually lead to us being able to perform some form of privilege escalation or lateral movement to gain additional access until we have sufficient privs to execute and reach our goals. In most cases, enumeration and exploitation are heavily entwined. Once an attack path shown by the enumeration phase has been exploited, enumeration is again performed from this new privileged position as shown in the diagram below. So our initial recon, that's kind of our OSINT type stuff. We got our initial compromise, which we did. Establish a foothold, elevate privileges, internal recon. This just keeps going. We want to maintain our presence complete mission. And often this is setting up a back door or a different account, whatever it is, to maintain that presence, or a startup task. Lots of ways you can do that. In this network, we will cover several methods that can be used to enumerate Active Directory. This is by no means a complete list, as available methods are usually highly situational and dependent on the inquired breach. However, we will cover the following techniques for enumerating AD. The AD snap-ins of the Microsoft Management Console, the net commands of command prompt. That's like net user / domain. You get all the users. You can also do it with groups. The AD rsat command that's a PowerShell, and Bloodhound. Connecting to the network. Nope, we're not using attack box. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm guessing it's the same process. Oh yeah, we need to go download our configuration file, and then we probably need to set the DNS to the domain controller. Okay, navigate to that. We'll get a pair of credentials. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get this downloaded to our Kali machine. Close some of these extra tabs. Pull up Kali, pull up this, see if it wants to play nice today. And it does want to play nice. How generous of it. Go to Access, go to Networks, AD enumeration. Sorry, y'all, I'm tired. We've been streaming for 9:30, 10:30, an hour and a half so far. We got one more hour to go, as long as my mind stays alert for it. Let's go ahead and download that. Let's remove our old one. And let's open VPN with our new one. Let's save that name to VPN. I already had a VPN there, oh well. And let's open a new tab, and let's save this one to shell, because I think we're getting a shell right away. And let's open up this. We need to set our IP to this domain controller IP, so 10.200 and 49.101. So let's do that real quick. With advanced network configuration, we'll grab that. IPv4 settings 10.200 something 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 49.101. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's systemctl restart. Oh, I need to be logged in as root to do this. Systemctl restart network manager. Learn how to spell. Always a good first step. And pull this back up. See what we can run to make sure it's working. Blah, blah, blah. Test your DNS similar to the steps above. Where's the steps above? Here it is. Let's make sure everything's working for us. We are on luck, ladies and gentlemen. Scroll back through here. We gotta request our creds, it looks like. So let's just copy that link address. Let's open it up in Kali. Your credentials have been generated. Username Jenna Field and password income 1982. We got Jenna. We got you, Jenna. She fell for that phishing email. It's always someone named Jenna. There we go. We got creds. It's not usually how you steal creds. You don't just go to a link and they give you creds, but This is obviously as if we already got that initial access. Click the Get Creds. This credential pair will provide you RDP and SSH access to the jump box. Can be seen as a jump host in the environment, simulating a foothold that we have achieved. Jump hosts are often targeted by the red team since they provide access to a new network segment. You can use Remina or any other RDP client to connect to this host. Remember to specify the domain. Do we have to use RDP or can we SSH? Okay, cool. Although RDP can be used for all tasks, SSH is faster. And can be used for tasks 4, 5, and... Can I use SSH for all of it? We're going to try. I want to SSH all of it. I don't like using RDP. If we have to use RDP, we will, but... We are Jenna Field. And our password is income 1982. Yeah, I'm Jenna Field. That's what's up. I definitely don't sound like a Jenna, but that's okay. When prompted, provide your account associated password, blah, blah. I've completed. We have. You guys saw me live on stream. You know I'm not lying. I've connected to the network. Yep, we did that. I've requested my credential pair. Absolutely. Credential injection. Drink of water. Before jumping into AD objects and enumeration, let's first talk about credential injection methods. Let's do it. From the breaching AD network, you would have seen that credentials are often found without compromising a domain joined machine. Specific enumeration techniques may require a particular setup to work. Windows versus Linux. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. Art of War. You can get incredibly far doing AD enumeration from a Kali machine. Still, if you genuinely want to do in-depth enumeration and even exploitation, you need to understand and mimic your enemy. Thus, you need a Windows machine. This will allow us to use several built-in methods to stage our enumeration and exploits. In this network, we will explore one of these built-in tools called the runAs.exe binary. Run as explained. We use this in the Throwback network. Have you ever found AD credentials but nowhere to log in with them? Sounds like a commercial. Run as may be the answer you've been looking for. In security assessments, we will get started in the breaching AD room today. Sweet, man. Weaponized. I think I'm saying that right. I keep calling people man, so if I ever say your gender incorrectly, I apologize. But your name looks like a man, so I'm gonna say man. Finally found some good AD content. I'm glad you think this is good AD content. I appreciate that. I always say, like, I'm just learning this. I am by no means an expert, but you can learn alongside me. In security assessments, you will often have network access and have just discovered AD creds, but have no means or privileges to create a new domain joined machine. So we need the ability to use those creds on a Windows machine we control. If we have the AD creds in the format of username password, we can use run as a legitimate Windows binary to inject the creds into memory. The usual run as command will look something like this: runAs.exe/net only user domain user command.exe. Let's look at the parameters. Net only. Since we are not domain joined, we want to load the credentials for network authentication, but not authenticate against the domain controller. So, commands executed locally on the computer will run in the context of your standard Windows account, but any network connections will occur using the account specified here. /user. Here, we provide the details of the domain and the username. It is always a safe bet to use a fully qualified domain name instead of just the NetBIOS name of the domain, since this will help with resolution. And command.exe. We could always use calculator as well. That's often used as a proof of concept. This is the program we want to execute once the credentials are injected. This can be changed to anything, but the safest bet is command.exe, since you can then use that to launch whatever you want with the credentials injected. Once you run this command, you will be prompted to supply a password. Note that since we added the net only parameter, the credentials will not be verified directly by a domain controller so that it will accept any password. We still need to confirm that the network credentials are loaded successfully and correctly. Note, if you use your own Windows machine, you should make sure that you run your first command prompt as administrator. So are we like just testing stuff? No, okay. I mean, I have Windows VMs, but if you use your own Windows machine, you should make sure that you run your first command prompt as admin. This will inject an administrator token in the command. If you run tools that require local admin privileges from your run as spot CMD, the token will already be available. This does not give you administrative privileges on the network, but will ensure that any local commands you execute will execute with administrative privileges. All right. It's always DNS. Here's a fun story from today. When I was setting up my home lab, my domain controller, my 2 workstations, it was DNS, right? To add a client to the domain, you need to set the DNS, so it's the domain controller. It took me like 30 minutes till I figured that out. But the great John Hammond, I always feel better about myself when people way smarter than me make mistakes. John Hammond spent a lot of time trying to join his client to the domain, realizing that his domain controller was turned off. So that was his issue. So at least I didn't make that issue. But it's always DNS. Note, these next steps you only need to perform if you use your own Windows machine for the exercise. However, it's good knowledge to learn how to perform. Am I supposed to be using my own machine right now? I'm just curious. I'm going to glance through here real quick. I could use my little lab that I made for this. Are we just like learning stuff right now? Oh no, because we have to make, okay, we're gonna have to actually get actual flags, so I don't want to use my own machine. They're just saying if you want to use your own machine, you can do it that way. Thought I could show off my lab, but apparently not. Okay. These steps you'll need to perform if you use your own Windows machine for the exercise. However, it's good knowledge to learn how to perform, since it may be helpful on red team exercises. And I guess we can. I could do it on my own computer, or I could do it on here. Let's just open up terminal. This is on my own computer. Let's see. So, what are we all doing here? It's always DNS after providing the password, blah, blah. The most sure way to do this is to list sysvol. Any AD account, no matter how low privilege, can read the contents of the sysvol directory. Sysvol is a folder that exists on all domain controllers. It is a shared folder storing the GPOs and information like any other domain-related scripts. It is an essential component for Active Directory since it delivers these GPOs to all computers on the domain. Domain joint computers can then read these GPOs and apply the applicable ones, making domain-wide configuration changes from a central location. Before we can list sysvol, we need to configure our DNS. I'm not going to be able to do this because I would have to use one of these. Let me... we're just going to read through this. I think I assigned too much RAM to my workstations, and if I'm running that and Kali and Chrome on my base OS and OBS and streaming, we might have some issues with me trying to open too many virtual machines. Okay. Before we can list sysvol, we need to configure our DNS. Sometimes you are lucky. An internal DNS will be configured for you automatically through DHCP or the VPN connection, but not always like this TryHackMe network. It is good to understand how to do it manually. Your safest bet for a DNS server is usually a domain controller. And that's what I shared before. It's what I did wrong when I set up my own lab. Using the IP of the domain controller, we can execute the following commands in a PowerShell window. This is the exact commands I ran to fix my home lab today, so I recognize all of this. Of course, Ethernet will be whatever interface is connected to the TryHackMe network. We can verify that DNS is working by doing the following. And I guess we can just double check on our machine that we have access to, but I mean, it should be working. Oh. Oh no, it got it eventually, right? For some reason it timed out right away. Oh well, I think it's working. Which should now resolve to the DC IP, since this is where the fully qualified domain name is. Was that the IP? 200.49.101? Yeah, it just took a little bit of time to get there, so it timed out. We can test our credentials. We can use the following command to force a network-based listing of the sysvol directory. Let's give this a shot. I think that's what I'm supposed to be seeing. Yeah. We won't go too much in depth now to the contents of sysvol, but note that it's also good to enumerate its contents since there may be some additional AD creds looking around there. Good to know. IPs versus host names. Is there a difference between dir ZA TryHackMe and dir DCIP in sysvol? And why the big fuss about DNS? There is quite a difference, and it boils down to the authentication method being used. When we provide the host name, network authentication will attempt first to perform Kerberos authentication, since Kerberos authentication uses host names embedded in the tickets. If we provide the IP instead, we can force the authentication type to be NTLM. While on the surface this does not matter to us right now, it is good to understand these slight differences since they can allow you to remain more stealthy during a red team assessment. In some instances, organizations will be monitoring for overpass and pass the hash attacks. Forcing NTLM authentication is a good trick to have in the book to avoid detection in these cases. I'm just curious about my own notes. If I go here, pass the hash mitigations, it says it's hard to prevent limit account reuse, utilize strong passwords, privilege access management. That I had overpass attack as well. Maybe I don't on here. Oh well. Okay. Using injected credentials. Now that we have injected our AD creds into memory, this is where the fun begins. With the net-only option, all network communication will use these injected creds for authentication. This includes all network communications of applications executed from that command prompt window. This is where it becomes potent. Have you ever had a case where an MS SQL database used Windows authentication and you were not domain joined? We'll start MS SQL Studio from that command prompt. Even though it shows your local username, click login and it will use the AD creds in the background to authenticate. We can even use this to authenticate to web applications that use NTLM authentication. Don't think you guys want me to read this, but glance through this. We can start command prompt. I see. Very cool. All right. We'll be using that in the next task for our first AD enumeration technique. What native Windows binary allows us to inject creds into memory? Runas.exe. What parameter option of the runas binary will ensure that the injected creds are used for all network communications? Net only, I think. What network folder or domain controller is accessible by any authenticated AD account stores GPO information? Sysvol. When performing dir blah, what type of authentication is formed by default? Blanking on it right now. Kerberos authentication, right? Okay. They're gonna make me open this freaking Remina RDP client. You should have completed the AD basics room by now, where different AD objects were initially introduced. In this task, it will be assumed that you understand what these objects are. Connect to it using RDP. Okay, whatever, I will. Well, I can leave that open too, can't I may call it a little bit early tonight, y'all. I mean, I started early. I think I'll be at 2 hours at 11:30 and I'm just getting tired. So, we may call it a little bit early, but I'll stay on a while, a little bit longer. Let's do Remina. What the heck? Oh, this is my new Kali. I haven't installed it here, so let's apt install Remina. Yes, Remina is an RDP client for Linux. if it wants to download. I noticed when I set my DNS server for TryHackMe, it must try to look stuff up on that DNS server first, which obviously it's not going to find, and so it causes things to go a little bit slower. But eventually it gets it, as you can see. Okay, and I just want to go, not that, CD enumerating, Jenna Field, income, and now let's remina that beast. And our IP is going to be the jump box, which is 10.200.49, so 49.248. Okay. I'll probably forget. What are you doing? Did I get that right? 49.248. 49.248. Yes. That's the name, right? Oh, Jenna.field, not fields. See? I told you guys I'm getting tired. Is the domain za.tryhackme.com, I take it. I think that's what they're looking for here. Boom. We got you, Jenna. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. Throw it to the side. Throw this right here. Okay, we're going to open up our fun stuff. Oh, I got to install. It's not even installed. You can install it over PowerShell. But we'll do it their way. Apps and features. Manage optional features. Add a feature. RSAT. Come on. I can't control F. Am I blind? Whatever. Can I run this as administrator? Yeah. Let me show you guys something. That's how I installed it on my machine for my lab. Oh, that's... Why can't I copy? Will this even work? Because this doesn't communicate out to the internet. I don't know. Let's find out. Ah. Cape. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Requires elevation. I ran it. How do they want us to install this? Maybe I just missed something. Let's follow their steps, I guess. Maybe I just want to Maybe it's on here somewhere. No. Is it already installed? Yeah, it is. Why? It's already installed, TryHackMe. Yo, leave me alone. At least I'm pretty sure it is. You can start MMC by using the Windows Start button, blah, blah, blah. That's Hyper-V Manager. Start by using the Windows Start button, searching. Oh, we have to search run. And if we just run, typing in MC, this is where the run. Oh, okay. This is where the run as window from the previous task comes into play. Yeah, you're probably right, Nate. Nate said, I wonder if it's a shared network and someone else already installed it. Yeah, that's why it's not available too. In that window, we can start MMC, which will ensure that all MMC network configurations will use our injected AD credentials. In MMC, we can now attach the AD RSAT snap-in. Oh, hold up. What am I doing wrong? We may pause it here. Getting pretty dang tired. Let's just try this. I think it wants us to run as here. Okay, so let's do the run as stuff. Income 1982 or something. Shouldn't work. How am I supposed to run this? At least I don't think it worked. So I don't think this is on the domain right now. Maybe it is. Let's see what happens when I add some snap-ins. Blah, blah. Click file, add snap-in, selecting add all 3 Active Directory snap-ins. Add. Click through any errors and warnings. Oh, hey, it worked. Okay, I did it right. Perfect. Right click. I wish I could make, I don't know how to make Remina so it's bigger. I don't like this tiny view. Oh well. Right click on Active Directory Domains and Trusts. And click Change Forest. Enter ZH, it's already there. Yep, already there. Good. Right click on Active Directory Sites and Services. Click Change Forest. Come on, Windows. Maybe. I believe in you. We can do this together. We got this. No, we don't got it. We don't got it. It's frozen. No. It's telling me to go to bed. Hey. Change Forest. It's already there. We're already doing good. I bet the... Oh, come on. Nate's DDoSing me right now. I think that's what's happening. Come on, TryHackMe. You can do it. I believe in you. We can do this together. It's already set. All right. Right click on Active Directory users. Click on View Advanced Features. View. No. View. Advanced Features. If everything up to this point worked correctly, your MMC should now be pointed to and authenticated against the target domain. We can now start enumerating information by the AD search here. Users and computers. Let's take a look at the Active Directory structure. For this task, we will focus on AD users and computers. Yes, we will. I'm in this all the time for work. Cool. Expand that snap-in. Expand the ZA domain to see the initial OU structure. We got admins, built-in computers, controls, domain, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at the people directory. Let's do it. Here's our different departments. Click on each of those users or users that belong to that. Who's in consulting? Those people are. Got it. Click on any of these users will allow us to review all their properties and attributes. Aaron Johnson. He lives on 13. Oh, I can't edit it. Account. Profile. Telephones. Organization. Public certificates. Blah, blah, blah. We can see what groups they're a member of. Yep, I saw that. We can also use MMC to find hosts in the environment. If we clicked on either servers or workstations, it'll show us what is all joined in. Unix. What do we got? Nothing. There's nothing. Workstations. There's our jump server. If we had the relevant permissions, we could also use MMC to directly make changes to AD, such as changing the user's password or adding an account to a specific group. Play around with MMC to better understand the AD domain structure. Make use of the search feature. If you don't do this for your job, I do encourage you to mess around with this just so you understand it a little better. Benefits. The GUI provides an excellent method to gain a holistic view of the AD environment. Rapid search of different AD objects can be performed, right? You can right click and find, and that's how you can search through stuff. If we have sufficient privs, we can directly update existing AD objects or add new ones. The drawbacks, the GUI requires RDP access. That is a big drawback. I hate RDP. Well, at least from here. When I do it for work, it's a lot smoother. Although searching for an object is fast, gathering AD-wide properties or attributes cannot be performed. How many computer objects are part of the server's ODU? 0. 0. I did not see any. Oh, 1. Okay, whatever. What? Guys, there aren't any. Oh, here we go. It didn't populate the first time. I'm not making that up. You guys saw that. How many computer objects per the workstations OU? How many departments does this organization consist of? 7? How many admin tiers does this organization have? Well, 3, but it goes up to T2. What is the value of the flag stored in the description attribute of the TO tiny screen account? Well, let's find out. Let's do it that way, and let's go TO underscore tinus dot green. Oh, I already see it. Boom. Let's see how long this one is. We can probably knock out task 4, right? Yeah. Let's knock out task 4. And then I might call it a night. But I don't want to do RDP anymore. So, whoops. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to our shell. We should be able to perform this stuff from here. Okay, there are times when you just need to perform a quick and dirty AD lookup, and command prompt has yo back. Good old reliable CMD is handy when you perhaps don't have RDP access to a system. Defenders are monitoring for PowerShell use, and you need to perform your AD enumeration through a remote access Trojan or a rat. It can even be helpful to embed a couple of simple AD enumeration commands in your phishing payload to help you gain the vital information to help you stage the final attack. CMD has a built-in command that you can use to enumerate information about AD, namely net. I use this all the time at work as well. The net command is a handy tool to enumerate information about the local system in AD. We'll look at a couple of interesting things we can enumerate from this position, but this is not an exhaustive list. Users. We can use a net command to list all users in the AD domain. I already shared about that. There you go. You can use net user. I mean, you can see password policy when passwords are last changed. You can look for maybe service accounts here that haven't been updated. A lot of things you can do just with that one command. Let's turn all ADs. We can use the sub option to enumerate more detailed information. So if we want to look up Zoe Watson, if you're at work, you can do this on your work computer. You don't even need to be an admin. I don't think you'll get in trouble for it, but I guess don't take my word for it. But look at all the information we can get. We got their username, their full name, whether or not their account's active, when their password was last set, whether or not it's going to expire, when it's changeable, what groups they're in. And once again, you don't need any privileged access to be able to do this. If the user is only part of a small number of AD groups, this command will be able to show us group memberships. However, usually after more than 10 group memberships, the command will fail to list them all. So, look at this, net group domain. We can see all the groups in the domain. We can also enumerate more details such as membership. So if we wanted to look at admins, net group tier 1 admins domain. Oh, and they even got T1 before their name. So if we can get these, we have an admin account, at least a tier 1 admin. We can see the password policy. I talked about that as well. And we can see lockout threshold 30. Dang, that's a lot. Or is it never? That's minutes. Lockout threshold's never. That's good security. Perfect. This provides with helpful information such as length of password history kept, meaning how many unique passwords, the lockout threshold for incorrect password attempts. We could brute force this thing all day, the maximum length of the password, and the maximum age. The information can benefit us if we want to stage additional password spraying attacks against the other user accounts that we have now enumerated. It can help us better guess what single passwords we should use in the attack and how many attacks can we run before we risk locking accounts. However, it should be noted that if we perform a blind password spraying attack, we may lock out accounts anyway since we did not check to determine how many attempts that specific account had left before being locked. Users forget their passwords. You can find the full range of options associated with that net command here. Microsoft Docs. It's just, you have to look for that. What's this gonna do? Oh, it tells us a time there. Interesting. Benefits. No additional external tooling is required, and these simple commands are often not monitored for by the blue team. We do not need a GUI to do this enumeration. VB script and other macro languages that are often used for phishing payloads support these commands natively, so they can be used to enumerate initial information. Drawbacks. The net commands must be executed from a domain joined machine. If the machine is not domain joined, it will default to the workgroup domain, which isn't going to be helpful for you. The net commands may not show all information. For example, if a user is a member of more than 10 groups, not all these groups will be shown in the output. Apart from the domain users group, what other group is the account Harris a member of? Well, let's check. Apart from the domain users, he's in the internet access group. Is the guest account active? No. I think the answer is supposed to be yes. But it says no. Oh, nay. How many accounts are a member of the Tier 1 admins group? One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. What is the account lockout duration of the current policy in minutes? I just remember that one is 30. Just gonna peek at this. Gosh, I almost just want to keep pushing through. What's the Bloodhound one look like? Oh, that one's going to take a little bit longer. We're not going to keep pushing through. All right, y'all. It's 11:40. I've been doing this for over 2 hours now. I'm going to go to bed. But hey, for those of you watching, I do just want to once again thank you for joining. Before you disconnect with me, if you haven't already, join our Discord group. If you saw it in the break screen, you'll see it's called the Work Smarter Discord. It's a great community if you want to learn. If you saw anything I did here, you want access to, like my personal notes that I've taken on all those different things, shoot me a message on Discord. I will send them to you free of charge. I have no interest in making money off of this. If I can help you, truly reach out. You can find me streaming on Twitch. I will be back tomorrow night right around the same time, and we will continue this room tomorrow night. You can also find me on YouTube, where I post these recordings as well as shorter walkthroughs of different machines I've done, and even some career advice. If you just search for Tyler Ramsbey, I would love to connect with you. But hey, once again, thank you for joining me tonight, and I will catch you guys same time, same place. Grab your hoodie, turn off your lights, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Thanks for joining.